Assalamu alaikum, bro.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Brothers, I've been waiting for one of you to make this point to an atheist. I've heard another Muslim say this, and they completely stomped this one atheist. So, in Islam, when a loved one passes away, alhamdulillah, we know that they're going to return to the All-Merciful. And that sets us at ease. You know, I've had a couple people that passed away in my life. And if I was an atheist, la samhallah, I would probably commit suicide, because my loved one, from an atheistic point of view, has just became dirt under the ground. So I really can't understand how, from an atheistic point of view, how an atheist would handle losing a dead loved one. And it's in that I mentioned this. It's funny. I seen a chart that showed suicide rates by belief, and atheists had the #1 spot. And subhanallah, Muslims were on the very, very low bottom. It's like little to no suicide. And that's just something I can't grasp from an atheistic point of view, is how they can even cope with the death of a loved one if they think that they're just carbon and atoms and they've just rearranged basically under the ground.
That's a great point. I've thought about that as well too. I mean, what would an atheist what would an atheist say? What would an atheist say to an atheist lady who just lost her child, whose toddler just died? What can you say other than tough luck, right? Tough luck. And that connects with one of those questions that people often ask, that can you be good without God? And clearly, there's nothing physically restricting atheists from doing good deeds. There's nothing physically restricting atheists from giving charity. But there are, I believe, certain kinds of good actions that they simply can't do without religion. I think the level of consolation that we can give to a mother who has just lost her toddler child, I don't believe on an atheistic worldview that you can do that. This is apart from the question of whether religion is true or not. Just even from a psychological, sociological perspective, the level of consolation that we can give to people, and prevention of suicide also connects with that. I don't believe an atheist can do, other than by piggybacking on religion.
Or kind of dehumanizing the child that's been lost to the point where it's like, you know, you sort of have to reduce it to you're just being selfish. Like, you know, the person that's died, they're not experiencing anything now, so you don't need to worry about them. The only reason you're crying is because you're being selfish, because you wanted something, or about so on and so forth. There's probably nicer ways of saying it, but I always found it really awkward, like trying to engage as an atheist and two atheists. Now I'm not one. When someone's passed away, it's like I don't really know what to say. Like, sorry, you know, it's one of them.
Yeah, I
Exactly. Yeah. Because from an atheistic point of view, that person just has no meaning. It's like a rock to them. So it's like, from an atheistic point of view, then, like, with all due respect, then, like, so what if they died? They had no meaning as far as atheism.
What are you talking about, dude? Like, what are you actually talking about?
Okay.
You don't think when our grandparents die, we don't think back to all the times that, you know, Grandpappy lifted us up on his shoulders, all the memories we had and the times we had. What? Because they aren't objectively written into the fabric of the universe magically. That means it has no meaning at all. No, it has meaning to me. I don't expect some random person in Africa to care that my grandpa died, but I care that my grandpa died. And my family knows that my grandpa died.
What I'm trying to say is, from your atheistic point of view, is once they die, they're just gone.
Correct.
We believe they're not gone. They're back with the all-merciful Lord.
And that's a nice thought.
So sharing that nice thought, irrespective of whether it's true or not, just from a psychological and sociological perspective.
I'm gonna let you go, yeah, bro.
Just from a human perspective, sharing that nice thought can extend a level of consolation to that woman who has just lost her toddler child that I believe that you as an atheist cannot give to her. I might be wrong, so I would love to hear what you would say.
Sure.
God forbid what you would say to your wife if she lost a child.
Yeah, so just to kind of highlight as well, our response to it wasn't necessarily that, you know, it didn't have any meaning to you. Obviously you do have these memories and you do have these fond associations with the people that you lose. The problem we were talking about is like I've not been an atheist for a very long time now, so I'm probably a bit disenfranchised with that state of mind. So how is it that you console people when they lose? Like, what advice do you give to another atheist when they've lost their child or someone they love dearly?
All right. So obviously I can't console someone in that way, but I mean, I would argue that are you just telling someone that heaven's real and they're going to see their loved one again just to make them feel better? I mean, I don't believe we should just tell people undemonstrable things just because it would make them feel better. I think there are ways of coping with loss. There's therapy, there's, there's ways of managing depression and loss, even with the fact of the reality that I accept that my grandpa's gone. I'm never going to.
No, I know there are. So, what I was asking is, like, specifically, not just mentioning that there are methods. Like, what would you say? Like, if it was to occur, not just like, oh, there are methods, and vaguely kind of referring to them. Like, I get that there are.
To someone who just lost somebody, I would go to them. I'd say, "Wow, I'm really sorry for your loss. I can see why you're so upset. Let me offer something to you. Let me help make you dinner one night. If you need any help around the house, I'm here. If you want to talk, just find other ways to
distract
to get the mind off it, or to commiserate with them and go, oh my God, I remember the times we used to have together. I sympathize with your loss. I connect with you. I'm here with you." And it's like, I can't do anything to take that pain away in the way that believing in heaven might, but I don't think that makes it any less valuable. And I don't see any evidence.
It's a lot less valuable.
I don't believe in just telling people that just to make them feel good.
No. You see, here's the thing. You see, we don't just tell people, "Oh, your child's in heaven," because we want them to make them feel better. Because we believe they're in heaven. We believe that.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Right. So if me telling a mother, "Don't worry, your child's in heaven," and be waiting for you, inshallah, rather than saying, "Oh, it's some dinner, and if you need me, I'll go shopping for you or come and see you." I mean, that's not when that mother, comes to nighttime when she just took her kid in bed, you ain't there then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
So you're cooking dinner for her is not going to allow her to see her dead child again. So I'm wondering why would you be opposed to telling a fairy tale if it has material, psychological, tangible benefits in preventing suicide, for example?
I'll tell you exactly why. Because I believe those same psychological benefits can be achieved through secular means, as opposed to teaching a comforting lie that I believe, it might have this positive benefit of people in terms of this therapeutic, belief in heaven. But I believe the religion and everything else that comes bundled with that isn't worth that minor benefit. I believe all the benefits, the psychological benefits, the therapeutic benefits of that belief could be achieved through secular therapy, the comfort of others, friends, family.
But listen.
Okay, so how are you gonna tell that mother she's gonna see her child again in a secular way?
No, but the thing is here also when we're talking about secular ways of doing it, comfort and having empathy for people, whether we do it through a liberal framework or humanistic framework, these are also fictions. They're also fictions. All human interactions, we don't have emergent properties, and these things like love and generosity and kindness, these are just things to help us get our genes into next generations. All of these things, if you really look, if you want to be an atheist, I don't know what your beliefs are, by the way, If you want to be an atheist, you need to be a proper atheist. You need to be a proper naturalist. And actually, if you're going to deny religion, you're going to deny theism. You have to deny liberalism, ethics, morality. All of these things are all ultimately worthless. They have no basis. There is no meaning. There is no value. There is no ethics. There is no morals. There is no human worth. There are no human rights. Everything, when you break it down, it breaks down to survival and reproduction and its byproducts. So look, all I want you to do is, if you're going to reject religion, fair enough, reject religion, no problem. But be consistent. Don't talk about love and compassion and morals and ethics when all of these things are just as collective fictions to just help us get along in the world.
Like, are you saying love isn't real?
Of course, from a naturalistic perspective, love is nonsense.
Unless you can show it under a microscope.
Explain very simply how morality
love is a proximate mechanism of causation to help you survive and reproduce and allow your genes to be fixed into the population.
Yes.
Love is no more important than anxiety.
Now, let me explain. It's really quite simple. We, as a species, we are humans. We do not have fangs. We do not have claws. We do not have armor. We do not have venom. We are squishy little flesh things. And we would not have survived as a species if we could not coexist and collectively work together towards large goals. We would not have dominated the planet in the way that we did if we could not do that. Yeah. That is why empathy, the instinct of empathy, facial recognition, the ability to imagine with our big frontal lobes and put ourselves in the shoes of other people in our heads, that evolved naturally in us because it helped us collectivize and work towards these goals and survive.
Exactly what I just said.
It doesn't come down to survival.
No,
but that doesn't make it any less meaningful.
Which is exactly what I just said. The
Our
only
understanding of it is much more complex than back when we were.
The only difference is you just repeated what I said, but I took it all the way to the logical conclusion of atheism, and you didn't. Love. Give me one shred of evidence that love as a proximate mechanism is any more important than anxiety or hatred or aggression or egoism.
That's like an incomprehensible state. What do you mean more?
Because you're putting a lot of value on love.
Okay. So
as a necessary thing.
Let me give you a concrete example here. Okay, so you have ultimate causation and you have the proximate mechanisms which facilitate that. So the proximate mechanisms which natural selection developed in the ancestral environment, such as love and affection for kin, and also aggression and these things that we needed to basically work together to have when we had conflicts with other groups. So all of these different things that developed in the ancestral environment, why would you give love and empathy more value than egoism and aggression?
Because we like feeling love and empathy. Because it makes us feel we like it. It's a positive thing.
You like it? You think that's an argument? And you're here as an atheist talking about reason and logic and evidence, and now you're talking about what you like?
The evidence is, humans like love. I mean, do you want to do a poll?
You like love?
So if humans like religion, or if humans like heaven, what would be the problem with that?
Humans like not being afraid of death. Humans like answers to questions. Humans do not like, our brains do not like when we have a question with no answer. We don't like
what you like.
To have the fitting.
Humans
where did the lightning come from?
Let me just talk about this stuff if you don't mind.
In the sky, down the lightning bolt.
Atheist. Right. Do you believe civilization has been built upon love?
It's also been built on hate and
colonization, slavery. Where's the love? I don't believe the Roman Empire had love for its denizens.
I mean, love between individuals is entirely different than like massive political systems.
No, but if people like love, and you were talking about love, it's because we love each other, the world came together and civilizations grew, and as a dominant species. No, the strong crushed the weak.
And then this group of humans went over here, and that group of humans went over there, and these group of humans love each other, but the humans over there are now a threat to our resources. So yeah, there's infighting. Of course, there's infighting. I'm not saying
no. They went to another people's land.
I mean,
I'm trying to understand
animals
this
fight
concept.
amongst themselves. That doesn't mean like love is like kind of a loaded like thing. It's a complex thing.
What is it? Tell us about love.
Love? I mean,
you're going to reduce it to the natural processes.
That's just it. You could reduce it to that.
That's the only thing you've got going for you. You only have one door to walk through, and that door is reductionism, and you need to walk through it if you're a naturalist.
I literally just any other explanation of how you could look at it through different frameworks.
Go ahead.
I literally said you could reduce it, or you could look at it in like a nuanced way, and not have to follow.
But a naturalist can't do that.
I am a naturalist, and I just did that.
No, you can't do that, because if you're a naturalist, listen, this is where you don't understand naturalism and reductionism. If you're a naturalist, the entire explanatory power which is available from a theistic perspective or different perspectives is not available to you. You have to explain everything in terms of physical causation, causes and effects, matter, and processes. Nothing to do with
when have I said anything otherwise?
Well, you just said you're a naturalist. Let me add something. So what you're doing is you're going down to like the natural foundation. Like everything is just natural random processes or non-conscious processes. And then you're admitting everything here. And then when we start talking about other things, you turn around and you head back up, and then you stick at a higher level. But you've already admitted to that which underpins everything. And so now you're alluding to things in higher levels, which are underpinned by the things you've already conceded to.
That's higher levels, meaning what?
Like so we can talk about the emergent properties, or we can talk about how it's a benefit for the societies and things like that. And we could live or be more successful and happier and blah, blah, blah. But all of this is still underpinned by that original assumption in naturalism. And so you've gone to the bottom, you've gone to the necessary end, which is what we've alluded to, and then you've done a 180.
I've never done a 180.
No, you've literally just been doing that now. You've gone back up, and you've started saying no, but I've not just. We can look at it in a more nuanced way and talk about other factors. All of these
nuanced way, yeah.
No, one sec, bro. Let me finish. Let's not do this talking over thing. It's late. I really can't be bothered with it. Let me finish. So what you've done is you've done a 180. You've admitted that. And then you've gone back up and started talking about other things, which you have to admit are all reduced to natural processes. Because everything is.
You understand how I can go back to like way back the evolution and the dawn of humanity, and then I can go all the way up to modern civilization, and our conceptions of love, although more complex than way back in evolutionary. Way back at the start of the evolutionary timeline, it's still naturalistic. Our society is just more complex, and we just have a more complex understanding of the concept of love. It's still rooted in. I didn't.
Right, so that's what I said. No, that's what I said, and you were saying no. I've been more nuanced than that, but you've just repeated what I've said. Right. Anyway, guys, it's really late.
When you have four Muslims trying to teach an atheist how to be a better atheist, you've entered the twilight zone.
Four Muslims talking in circles.
You need to stop this talking over people thing, bro. It's gonna really help you out a lot.
Why don't you just take your mask off? Why are you wearing a mask?
Because I like my privacy.
Well, we can't hear what you're saying.
It really wouldn't matter. It would go in one ear and out the other. This was an embarrassing circle jerk to watch, but you guys, good.
Well, that's only one way, isn't it?
The funniest thing is, we were teaching him how to be a better atheist. Four Muslims trying to teach an atheist why he needs to accept the conclusions of atheism.